The Jasper Chamber of Commerce held its yearly luncheon today. More on award winners and other happenings. Plus, a Jasper-based bank reports its third quarter earnings for this year. More on that, and Ray Niehaus with the Center for Technology, Innovation, and Manufacturing is our guest this evening on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. More from today's Chamber Luncheon coming up in a moment, but we begin with some sad news out of Pike County this evening. A Winslow man was arrested after shooting and killing a woman at his home last night. Indiana State Police say that Pike County Dispatch received a 911 call at about 11 o'clock last night concerning a domestic disturbance and shots being fired at a residence in the 100 block of South Bluff Street in Winslow. When police arrived at the scene, they found 24-year-old Kelsey McDonald of Winslow in the living room unconscious after she had been shot by 32-year-old Christopher Morton. According to police, Morton was standing in the kitchen of the home with a handgun in one hand and a beer can in the other when they arrived. McDonald was transported to Memorial Hospital in Jasper, where she was later pronounced dead. Meanwhile, Morton refused to drop his weapon when he was asked to do so and was tasered by police before being taken into custody. Morton was lodged in the Pike County Jail, where he is being held without bond. He faces a Class A felony for murder. Morton and McDonald's 3-year-old daughter was also at the residence, according to police. The girl was not injured in the shooting, and she is now with family. Indiana State Police say their investigation is still ongoing. Winslow Police, Petersburg Police, and the Pike County Sheriff's Department all assisted. This afternoon marked a special occasion for the Jasper Chamber of Commerce. The annual meeting of the Jasper Chamber of Commerce marked its 60th edition this afternoon at the new Clubhouse 61. The meeting marked the selection of a new chamber president, and it also marked the announcement of the winner for the 2013 President's Community Excellence Award. Becky Beckman was named as this year's recipient. Beckman currently serves as a volunteer with the Daviess County Court-Appointed Special Advocates for Children, or CASA program, and she also serves as a board member for the Jasper Community Arts Commission, and she is part of the Daviess County Public Health Partnership team. Beckman says the award means a lot to her personally.
You know, it's wonderful because I'm surrounded by family and friends who actually help me get this. They work right beside me, and that's one of the things of being neighbors. You help each other, and that's what we do when we get back to our communities too.
Beckman is also a former member of the Daviess County Substance Abuse Council, and she has also delivered meals to those in need on Thanksgiving Day through the St. Joseph's Parish Center since that program's inception. As mentioned earlier, today's meeting also marked the welcoming of a new Jasper Chamber president. Jane Ballsmeyer is set to serve as the president for the Jasper Chamber of Commerce for 2013 and 2014. Ballsmeyer says she is looking to build on the success of the chamber during her time as president.
We want to promote the businesses of Jasper. We also want to make sure that we are offering cost-effective education for our members, that we are getting seminars and getting education and knowledge out to the businesses and really giving them some value-added benefits.
Today's keynote speaker was Indiana Governor Mike Pence. We will have more from the governor tomorrow here on the 18 WJTS News. A university campus was placed on lockdown earlier this morning following a report of an armed man on campus. Just before 12:40 a.m. this morning, officials at Vincennes University's main campus in Vincennes sent out an alert that a gunman was on campus and that police had been called to the scene. A second alert that was sent out just after 1:10 this morning described the gunman as a white male in his 30s. Campus police further described the gunman as having a beard, and he was wearing a dark cap and jacket. The lockdown was officially lifted at 3:40 this morning after police had checked all buildings on campus. Residence halls were also reopened at that time. According to university spokesman Dwayne Chatton, police were called to an off-campus student apartment about a possibly armed man impersonating a police officer. He says officers spotted the man, but he ran into an apartment building, then climbed out a window and ran toward the campus where about 2,000 students live in residence halls. According to campus police, no shots were fired and no one was injured. The investigation into this incident is still ongoing. Quarterly results are now in for one Jasper-based company. During the most recent third quarter, which ended on September 30th, GermanAmerican Bancorp reported a net income of $6.5 million, or 51 cents per share. Those numbers are up from the third quarter numbers of 2012 of $6.3 million, or 50 cents per share. Year to date, the net income for the company for 2013 is $18.8 million, or $1.48 per share. Those numbers are also up from the year-to-date numbers from this time last year, which were a net income of $17.9 million, or $1.41 per share. Company officials say third quarter earnings this year were positively impacted by an $800,000, or about 5% increase, in net interest income. The improvement was largely driven by continued loan portfolio growth as total loans, not including those loans that are held for sale, increased by $116 million, or roughly 10% so far this year, relative to those loans that were outstanding as of September the 30th. A $400,000 negative provision for potential loan losses also drove the higher earnings for the third quarter of this year, according to company officials. The negative provision marks a $1 million swing for the company after last year's $640,000 expense for provision on loan losses. Company officials say that non-performing assets to total assets and the current ratio of non-performing loans to total loans have declined back to levels that were seen prior to the recession. Company officials have also announced the declaration of the regular quarterly cash dividend. That figure came out to 15 cents for this most recent third quarter, and that figure will be payable November 20th to shareholders of record as of November the 10th. Since its opening almost 1 year ago, Interstate 69 has been having economic impacts across southwestern Indiana, including in Daviess County. Daviess County Economic Development Executive Director Ron Arnold says about a dozen or so substantial projects are currently taking place, with some businesses expanding and others that are building new facilities. Arnold says the interstate has been a key factor in the boom in business in Daviess County.
As you make any business decision, you look at all the factors. And, I can't sit here and tell you that these businesses expanded or located here because of 69 only. What I can tell you is that was one of the factors that used to work against us that is now working in our favor.
Arnold says the highway could also bring more business to the more rural areas of the county.
Certainly, we've already had some of that with the Westgate Technology Park and the companies that have located there. But, yeah, it comes down to what infrastructure is in place with the tech park up there. That is a huge potential development area, and 69 certainly doesn't work against that.
The county has seen $38 million in investments by businesses within the first year of the opening of I-69. Businesses such as McAllister's Machinery are among those that are expanding. McAllister's expansion is valued at $9 million and will create between 50 and 60 new jobs over the next several years, according to Arnold. The biggest among the businesses that are building new facilities is Alliance Barrier Films. That company will be building a new co-extruded film plant valued between $6 and $7 million near the Interstate 69 and US 50 interchange just outside of Washington. Other new facilities are set to be built in the future by Boyden Company, Farm Credit Services, and Custom Ag, among others. The investments that have come as a result of I-69 may also be factoring into the county's support for another regional interstate push. In recent months, there has also been a push across the region for Interstate 67, which would extend from I-69 at Washington down to Bowling Green, Kentucky. Arnold says his group, along with the city of Washington, have been supportive of that project from the beginning. He says that new highway would be of big benefit to the region if it were to be built.
The folks that are involved with that, I think they're right on the mark on what needs to be done and why it needs to be done. And if you look at a much larger region that includes the Louisville area, that this will take some of the congestion off of 65, that it makes a lot of sense. So anything that we can do to help that become a reality, we're certainly going to try and do.
Meanwhile, I-69 is currently open between Evansville and Crane. Construction on the highway northward is currently nearing Bloomington, and approval for Section 5 of the highway, which will run between Bloomington and Martinsville, utilizing an existing stretch of State Road 37, was granted back in August. Speaking of road work in Daviess County, county officials are now attempting to pick up the pace on the expansion of several local roads, including a key corridor between two towns. The Odin-Cannelberg Road project, which is down to 2 final segments of needed work, is the subject of a $12.3 million federal grant application that the Daviess County Commissioners will soon be sending. The commissioners say that money would fill the financial needs to complete the final 2 segments of the road. Within current funds, the county would be able to complete the Odin-Cannelberg Road up to County Road 800 North, while the grant money would allow it to be completed up to County Road 1250 North and the park at Odin, according to County Highway Superintendent Phil Cornelius. Judy Thoman of BLA Engineering says the funding, which was once capped at $3 million and was broken down into smaller groups, is now being funneled into one big group. She says the county is an excellent candidate for the money and the county has a good chance of getting funded. The county is also working on County Road 900 East as part of a long-term safety project. County Road 900 East is in the process of being widened in order to accommodate the heavier truck traffic that travels over it. Additionally, buggy lanes are being added to separate the traffic that goes along the road. Almost 100 businesses are within 1 mile of the road, which runs through the heart of Amish country in Daviess County. Daviess County Commissioners President Tony Weichman says the state is giving the opportunity to the county to get this project done. He says it's important to get the road completed for the sake of the residents in the area. The county is currently in the process of preparing its application, and state officials are planning to make announcements on funding before the end of this year. If funding were to be approved, the money would show up starting in 2017. Additionally, Daviess County would be responsible for coming up with $2.4 million in matching funds, though officials say that is not likely to be an issue. An area highway is closing next month in Gibson County for repairs to a railroad crossing. Starting at 8 a.m. this upcoming Monday, November the 4th, railroad crews will be closing State Road 64 between the junction at US 41 and the junction at Interstate 69. Crews will be repairing the crossing that's just less than 9 miles to the east of US 41. Work is set to be completed by 2 p.m. local time next Friday, November the 8th, weather permitting. The official detour will use US 41, State Road 168, and Interstate 69 to reroute traffic. INDOT encourages motorists to slow down and to pay special attention while traveling in work zones across the state. For the latest news and information about INDOT, please visit in.gov/INDOT and trafficwise.in.gov. On a final note this evening, area communities have set their trick-or-treat hours for this year. Jasper and Birdseye's hours are set from 6 till 8 p.m. tomorrow, while the town of Ferdinand will hold trick-or-treating from 6 till 8:30 p.m. Trick-or-treating will also take place tomorrow in Huntingburg from 5:30 till 8 p.m. Now, due to the high probability of inclement weather on Halloween evening, Jasper, Huntingburg, and Ferdinand officials all say that they will be extending trick-or-treating hours to Friday, November 1st as well. Trick-or-treating hours for all 3 communities on Friday will be the same as they are on Thursday evening. Trick-or-treating in the town of Holland, however, is underway this evening and will continue through to 8:30. The town of Holland is also set to hold its annual Halloween party tomorrow evening at the Holland Elementary Gymnasium beginning at 6:30 p.m. All those that are taking part in trick-or-treating are reminded to please use caution should threatening weather exist. As a reminder, if you will be welcoming trick-or-treaters, please have your porch light on during the scheduled trick-or-treating hours. Coming up after the break, more on the rain in your early trick-or-treat forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform featuring Ray Niehaus with the Center for Technology, Innovation, and Manufacturing. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.